This experience actually came. I was when I was listening to the Open Skype, when the Open Skype was happening on Saturday, just this past Saturday. I had this experience. I was listening to everybody sharing, and I was talking with Ramon a little bit, and I don't remember who was exactly speaking, if it was Duane or somebody else, but um, all of a sudden, because the living room that I sit in with Ramon when I'm listening, or we're on the Saturday Skype, I sit against the couch and then I'm facing a wall. And on the wall, there's kind of like a TV, but it's a white wall. It's got like bricks and stuff. And, anyways, on this white wall, I see a giant butterfly, probably as tall as the house itself, because it's a little one-story house. But it was this butterfly in front of me was about as big as the house, and it was black and blue, almost like a royal kind of navy, like how you see with the guides, they wear those kind of royal blue or like navy suits. Well, anyways, I'm looking at this butterfly and I could see Rebisar comes in from my right hand side and he says, "Looks pretty, doesn't it?" And then I kind of was looking at it and I was like, "Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess it looks pretty." And he was saying, but it's poisonous. That's what he said after I had considered that, it could be a pretty butterfly. And he said, "Well, it's poisonous." And then he kind of took the butterfly away, or changed the scene for me. And I remember I was looking over a jungle. There was this giant jungle. And then he started saying, he said, "Consider a jungle. How many creatures on the on the rainforest floor are poisonous? They have a lot of bright and pretty colors, but they're very poisonous." And so I was kind of looking at that, and he said, Rebazar mentioned that the way that he said it, it was very interesting. He said, "Such is the phenomena in creation." He said a lot of it looks attractive, just like these poisonous creatures, and it's anything, psychic phenomena, telekinesis, this, televise, whatever people can really get into, in creation and on Earth. It's a lot of funny stuff, and that's been said before. And Rebazar is just emphasizing that to me in this kind of relatable way. Again, that a lot of this stuff really looks attractive, but it's really kind of poisonous. And he also said to me, or really kind of showed me, because it really wasn't verbal, but he showed me that when people find these things, they feel excited. And really more so than being excited, it's the cause and effect agitation. And they think that it's a positive thing, or that it's good energy or something like that. But it's really just agitation, and it has nothing to do with what it is, because really it's like a poisonous creature luring somebody in. And so that was the whole view. Basically, Rebazar just reminding me, or giving me a little heads up about certain things, or perhaps something's going to come towards me that I need to be aware of, but for everybody else too.
Jeremy, that's so cool. So everybody's patiently waiting for the big book, Adventures of Jeremy, because your experiences are great, Jeremy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Duane. And I know I got a little prompt to start it. It's every time that I start it, I never liked the way that I start it. But that's kind of how people are with books. I remember hearing that about authors, that they never write from the beginning. They always start from the middle and then they go back to the beginning and certain things like that. So I got to try that, because I always get that writer's block.
Yeah, well, it took me several years too, after I'd been out in the public over 30 years doing lectures and teaching classes and whatever, and to write like I wanted to. And so, but gradually I picked it up. Just write something, and if you have to, start it with "Once Upon a Time," whatever. That's why a lot of stories start like that, because it seems like an entry, a beginning. And it's kind of like songs too. When they write songs, it's like, how are we going to start this? Once it gets going, yeah, but starting it and then the finale, etc. But a writer's block is an idea that somebody, like conspiracy theories. Okay, so I never have a so-called writer's block, because it's kind of like insomnia. It really doesn't exist. It's just an idea, and that is that you're able to see anything. So just like your experience there that you shared, you don't think about it, you see it, and then write what you see. It's that simple. Just start writing what you see and then go over it and then edit it according with your literal self so that you can relate it. So that's what I do. I just, I just hear something and then I see it and then I just start writing and it just comes out. I don't even think about it. I don't know where it's going to go or whatever, or a conclusion to it. And that's how I wrote the books. As I saw it, as I was having the experiences and saw them, I didn't know how they were going to come out, but then all of a sudden they did. They came out to this and this and this and whatever, and that's how it is. It's all fine. So again, we have that literal upbringing and the thinking part, and it's just like our computer. It doesn't think for us. We're the deciders, and we turn it on and off, and the same with the thinking and the mind. And so what is our real awareness? It's a view. It sees what's taking place, and it can consider more than what we know. So as you just kind of let go and just start with one of your experiences, etc. The easiest way, and I've said this many times over the years, is just start writing about your personal life. Where you were born, it's like you can start off like I was born in, Hackensack, New Jersey, and my parents were from the old country. They came over on the boat or whatever. Just start that way. Start with your life. And Ava too. She's got to keep going with her book, but she started that way and do it in phases. I say. I didn't want to really do mine in chapters. I did it in scenes. Okay, here's this scene, etc. And just kind of did it in that way. Now, Paul, what he did is he laid out the 12 chapters. 12 is completion. He would lay out the titles of the 12 chapters, and then he would just fill them in. You see, so it's like you have a file, and you name the file. Okay. UFOs, whatever, and then you start writing about UFOs. Some people do that. That's more literal. But I like to see what's going to come up and come up next from the unseen. That's the real awareness, bringing it into the personal self, and then the personal self with the real awareness edits it. You go over it many, many times. You read it and read it. When I first did the first book, I went over that many times, and actually I had a new computer. I had bought a new computer at that time from Circuit City, and probably about 1/3 of it or so, I pushed the wrong button and I lost all of it. I had to start over. It was very frustrating. Now I use Open Office that saves it, but I learned over the years, and I saw after a couple of years I really got the hang of it. I just wrote things, and I even used via voice. I used to talk the book. I could talk it and it would write it and whatever, but now I just like writing it with the fingers, etc. There's no rush, just getting it out there. And I like to do the little groups, just kind of an update of things, constantly moving around and just seeing what's going on, and like you and others sharing your experiences. And I work off of that too, because everyone is having experiences. And so the focus is, sharing the NUUU, etc. But this is where writing becomes fun. You make it fun. There's no such thing as writer's block and all this stuff, and etc. There's only the isness, and you learn to see it, and you're having these experiences. You start off there, and then as you do it, more will come. The other things will show up. Just know they always do. Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy.